If you haven't watched Primitive's Define video, you need to click off and go watch that right now, because this video will spoil it for you, and it'll spoil maybe one of the best parts of the video, so go watch that first. I don't want to ruin it for you. But today we're going to be reviewing Paul Rodriguez's part in the Primitive video. First off, Paul wasted absolutely no time and came in hot with a switch backside flip. Absolutely done to perfection. And what I liked more about it was that he was wearing the Paul Rodriguez ones, his first ever pro shoe. And the music and the trick selection was a little bit of a throwback to one of his previous parts, so the fact that he was wearing the shoes, it kind of like tied it all back in. This is one of those shoes that I never got to skate, but I'm like praying that Nike one day finds it in their heart to re-release this shoe, because I really want to skate it. And then I love how P-Rod goes from doing a switch backside flip straight into a switch frontside heel flip. So doing kind of the opposite, switch backside kick flip, switch frontside heel flip. So kind of like a mirror line. And the way that they cut the clips to the music, like each time that he lands with like so much power. Like you feel it, you feel the energy of the trick. And I personally think that frontside heel flips are one of the best looking tricks. I mean, the way P-Rod does it, he's doing it switch, but it looks like it's not switch. The next clip is a switch crook and then switch backside Smith 180 out. What I really liked about this clip, honestly, is just the switch crook at the beginning, because a crooked grind is relatable. So it's like, I know how much effort and skill it takes to do a crooked grind and how it works. And then the fact that he's doing it switch and he pops out like so clean, it communicates to me better like how actually in control P-Rod is to be able to do that trick so perfectly, a trick that I can understand and conceptualize, and then to see him do it as good as you can possibly do it. I don't know, sometimes less is more, and that to me just reiterated again how much time and energy and effort P-Rod has put into like meticulously mastering skateboarding. And because it's a trick that I relate to, I feel like I felt it a little bit more. Next, P-Rod does the varial heel over that like barrier thing. I've only done like a few varial heels in my life. I do not know how you would get it boosted that high over the thing. Like obviously he's got a little launch ramp, but still he's got to jump and get that thing flipping up. You can see when he catches it like how tucked and compact his body is to get over that barrier. I feel like P-Rod skating is almost not like a shock and awe style of skating. It's very much a timeless, like, let me show you that I can do this trick as good as it can be done. Like that level of control and consistency seems like that's more what P-Rod is trying to get across with this skating, more so than just like, oh, I did this insane trick. This trick was one of only a handful of tricks that he did regular out of all of his footage. Like there's maybe like 3 tricks that he does regular. The whole time he's pretty much skating switch. And what I love about P-Rod's switch stance is it doesn't look like he's skating switch, but it also doesn't look like he's skating in his regular stance. He's one skater going one way and another skater going the other way. So it's like he's 2 separate skaters, but neither of them is skating switch, if that makes any sense. Another thing I love about P-Rod is that when he does ledge tricks and flips out, he like actually does a proper flick. Like a lot of times you'll see skaters that do the quick like mob flip where they like poke the board down on the edge just to get it to rotate. But P-Rod fully like leads out with his knee, you know, turns his ankle over and like fully flicks out proper. Again, it's just like he wants to show complete mastery of his craft. And so it's not about doing the trick, it's about doing the trick the most fundamentally correct way possible to show that he has complete mastery over his skateboard. And it'd be crazy enough to like see somebody like flip out of a ledge trick, you know, with their regular foot and like really get that proper flick. But P-Rod is getting that proper flick on his weaker foot. It's just kind of insane like how fundamentally sound P-Rod is, especially with his weak foot. When and if I ever get to doing ledge tricks and like flipping out, I'm sure I'm going to mob it, but I hope that somehow maybe I would be able to get to this point where I can really get enough pop out of the ledge trick to really lead a proper flick out like P-Rod does. And then his ender, I feel like again is just re-emphasizing this point of how fundamentally sound P-Rod is going both directions. He does the frontside flip regular down the small set of stairs, and then the big set of stairs he does the switch frontside flip. And I like that he did that, and I think he did it in that order obviously on purpose, because again it's just that emphasis on I can skate switch better than you can skate regular. I'm sure he's not like thinking of it that way, but basically that's the way it comes across, is like, oh, you would save your best trick for the big set of stairs? Well, I'm gonna do the big set of stairs in my weaker stance and do the easy set of stairs in my better stance, just because I can. So including like the opening primitive graphic, the part was only 1 minute and 42 seconds long. But in that time, I definitely think that P-Rod made a huge impact and set the tone for the rest of the video. So I definitely appreciate that it was quality over quantity. I mean, he was all gas, no brakes from beginning all the way to the end. So if there was anything that I guess I would complain about with this, is obviously I just want more footage, and it's hard to expect that when he's doing like the hardest tricks and doing them to perfection. So like, I don't blame him for that, but obviously, you know, you just, when you get something that impactful, that gets you that stoked, obviously you just want more. And the fact that I feel that way just speaks to the fact that P-Rod did his job. The only other thing I guess I would complain about with this is I felt like Wade DeSarmo's part was strong enough to lead off the video, and I think P-Rod's footage would have had more of an impact at the end. Say like they kind of like finish the video, Define pops up on the screen, and then P-Rod's part comes out of nowhere and just slaps you in the face. I feel like that would have been a better crescendo to the video, because I feel like Define was lacking that overall crescendo and oomph in the end that I feel like Encore had like really well. It just built and had this insane climax at the end with Tiago Lemos's part. I feel like P-Rod's part, had it been put at the end, would have had that same kind of like, you end up with this like crazy high. Like obviously for Primitive to be successful, it has to be bigger than Paul Rodriguez. Primitive has to be able to stand alone and be its own brand without P-Rod. And so I think that's the reason why he didn't want to put his clips at the end, because he didn't want to end with the spotlight on himself. Whereas putting his clips at the beginning, it's almost like he's leading from the front, setting the tone for the rest of the team. And I just think that speaks to the fact that P-Rod is a leader and he's trying to lead the way for his team, not pull all the spotlight back onto himself. If you like this video, then you'll like this one. It's P-Rod's secret to crooked grinds. If you want to support my channel, make sure to check out my Patreon. Remember to make every single day Friday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.